Hey everybody, it's been a while since I've shared because I've been writing a book during COVID, and I just thought I would share something just to implement because I kind of miss it, and some of my fans have been like, "Where are you?" So I wanted to share a few things that came up last night. I was hosting an event about the Fountain of Youth and how to stay young, self-care around that because that's kind of a new and upcoming field. And the topic of Tantra, of course, came up, and I was able to interject. And this is what I'm teaching my clients, where it's not really mainstream information yet for men, especially because you guys are the ones that are really at risk as far as aging yourselves prematurely through over ejaculating, I guess is one way to say it. um, you know, they say that it takes a week. This is from John Gray of Mars and Venus. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus, and it takes a week basically for a man to rebuild his storehouse of ejaculate, which is, life force energy to create new life. It takes a week to get back to where he was before he ejaculated. So we know that probably most men are not waiting a week before they ejaculate again. It's, I think in our culture it's kind of overdone where it's like a daily thing, and some men are guilty of multiple times a day, and just want you to know that you are aging yourself quite a bit that way. So if it takes you a week to get back to where you have that life force energy again to create, a child, it's really powerful. It's like the best of you is in that liquid, and then you're kind of wasting it. So, and that's why you're tired after. And that's why your body has to go through the whole process of regenerating it all over again. But if you're doing it daily or more than once a day, then, your body's trying to create it, and then it just keeps going down, and then it keeps going down and never gets to fully generate the full week worth of life force. So your testosterone never fully bounces back in the way that it was meant to. And so it's just something to think about. It's an awareness, because most men don't know that. I think a lot of men are a little unaware of what that's doing to their bodies, and they wonder why they're tired all the time. They wonder why they're not functioning in their 40s and 50s. It's because they're overdoing it. So, Tantra men have mastery of their bodies where they know how to have the orgasm without letting go of the ejaculate, which means that they can do that as much as they want to without compromising themselves. And Tantra men also have a lot more energy and look a lot younger than they really are. So, might be some skills you might want to think about. John Gray teaches this, among other Tantra teachers, because it is something you have to practice until it clicks in for you. And you don't want to just be wasting your ejaculate. I mean, back in the day, they would actually take it back into their bodies, like drink it back in, because it's life force, and otherwise you're just going to waste it. And so anyway, it's certainly a Fountain of Youth tip to think about. And, when unfortunately it kind of backfires a little bit if you're overdoing it, because then your hormone levels never really get a chance to replenish. And so you're constantly like in replenishing mode without fully bouncing back, which means that you kind of go into your cave a little bit more emotionally. And so if you have a partner and you're doing this, sharing this with them, you tend to not bounce back as quickly to bond with her and connect with her, and it could feel like you're kind of MIA, almost like she might have some feelings of abandonment, because after you share something intimate like that, it's good to stay connected. Otherwise, if you drop the ball, then she's like, ooh, it's not really safe to engage like that if he's just going to disappear, because you're like trying to replenish yourself and get your your hormones back up to the normal level. But if you're constantly depleting yourself, then you're missing out on, well, it just creates a challenging dynamic for a relationship. Let me just put it that way, on a chemical level, because you're just not going to be at your best. And anyway, things to think about and be aware of. I've become more aware of this myself recently, and figuring out, why is it, that this is not working, and, kind of put the pieces together. And so I wanted to share it. Aloha from Maui.